It's Friday, the last day of the week for me. It's puck time. I'm the Prez. Andrew McInnis with us, Alex B. Smith. Both of them found at sportsmemo.com and, of course, my home, WagerTalk.com. But don't buy my plays.
Yeah, buy ours instead.
Buy Alex and Andrew instead. Agree 100%. Boys, how are you? Andrew, what's going on?
Not too much. Coming off that winner last night with Boston, 4% winner, and really looking forward to kind of round two, Prez. For myself, I started to pick things up in round one at that kind of later half, but I'm really liking the way things are looking in round two. I feel like I have a good feel on the matchups, and looking forward to the weekend as well. How are you doing?
I played hockey last night, my first game of the summer, usually on Tuesdays, but with the Leaf game on Tuesday night, every team canceled, so they actually gave us a makeup game. We were up 4-3 with about 4 to go, and then they scored a goal. It was offside. We called for a replay. Nobody responded, so the goal stood. That made it 4-4. Then they called 6 men on the ice for us, put us in the penalty box at the 3-minute mark. We called again for instant replay because we knew we did not have 6 guys on the ice. They scored, made it 5-4. And then with 14 seconds left to go in the game, we tied it up. And they said the goalie had the puck in possession, so they didn't count it as a goal. Again, we demanded instant replay, and they refused. So we lost.
So you're saying the Vegas and San Jose officials, they left Vegas and came and officiated your game? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, no, ours was worse, but I did do a really great maneuver last night that I think you guys will be very impressed with.
This is on the ice, right?
Yeah, so,
okay.
Yes, on the ice. So we were down 4-3 going into the third, and we needed to rally. And, well, the best way to get going is to get their guy, their best player, off the ice.
Right.
So the Prez, who is our worst player by far, took it upon himself to get into a little fisticuff with their best player, and both of us sat in the box for half the third period. And he was spewing.
I actually would love to see that, Prez. I mean, the amount of times I've seen you flex your biceps on this show, it's about time you become an enforcer. I like it.
Oh, yeah, dude. I full-on slew foot. I was standing at the blue line. He was guarding me, but his back was turned to face the net. I took my stick right under his skate, toppled over, got up, and went ballistic on me.
You play D, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's where people who can't skate go to play hockey. I'm the Prez. I'm a bit sickened by the cup Andrew's using, but that's okay. Alex B. Smith with us. Lots going on today. First pitch, Brian Leonard. Morning Joe and the pro Marco D'Angelo. And today we're going to discuss on PuckTime all the games today and tomorrow. So let's get right into it. Carolina Hurricanes. Well, they have a nickname, the Jerk Boys or something. I don't know.
The bunch of jerks, they call them.
I love it. I love it. And they're playing the Islanders tonight, and the fact that one of these two teams is going to be in the semifinals is a bit mind-blowing to me, but I digress. New York Islanders minus 140. The over and under here is 5.5. I like the under in this game. It is minus 150. I don't like that, but I have trouble believing there'll be 6 goals scored. And I don't know what to do about the side. Alex, I'll go to you first.
Well, with one thing with the total, you can shop around because there's actually some 5 evens around. I've seen a 5 with shaded to the over at $1.20 at Bet Online. So definitely shop around because we're going to see that variance now in all 4 of these series. I feel we're going to see 5, 5.5, 5.5 turn to 6s and vice versa. So definitely shop for that. But as far as the side goes, one big thing here is that the Islanders as well as they played at home in the first round, it's a different venue. They're not at Nassau Coliseum. They're at the Barclays Center, which is not really their most comfortable surroundings. It's not a venue that the players care for as far as Nassau. The fans clearly have made it known as well that they prefer to be in Nassau as well. I remember seeing tickets as cheap as $200 on the glass for this game. So that's telling you it's not going to be the same kind of atmosphere. It's not going to be as loud. It's not going to be as boisterous. And you got tickets that cheap. You wonder if this bunch of jerks are going to bring a bunch of fans up from Carolina, something we've really never seen the Hurricanes do at any point, even when they were good back in the days. They didn't travel well. So you wonder if the crowd's going to be a bit of a factor. Won't be as much as in the first two games we saw in a different venue against Pittsburgh. Obviously, the Canes coming off of a big emotional win, a double overtime win. You wonder if they're going to have their legs under them right away. Islanders might want to take advantage of that, try and score early. So, the first period over, something I've been looking at, especially with Carolina games. They cash quite often in the first round. I can see the first period over being something to look at here. And I think the Carolina Hurricanes will be able to keep it close enough to where plus 20, plus 25, you'll be able to get some good value with them.
Andrew, thoughts, young man?
I said this yesterday as far as the Bruins game goes. I feel like it negatively affected the Columbus Blue Jackets for the amount of rest that they had. But I feel like it positively affects this New York Islanders team. I feel like they're built to be a playoff team. I mean, from line 1 to line 4, they've got your all-stars, they've got your scorers like Barzal, Eberle, those kind of guys. And you've also got, your Matt Martins, your Anthony Beauvilliers, those guys that can be aggressive. And when it comes down to it, the recipe for a great playoff team is experience, physicality, and skill. And I think they have all of that. But I think the story of this series, and Prez, it's mind-blowing how shaded to the under this game has now been. We're seeing 5s everywhere pretty much now. But it's going to be the goaltending. I think if you're going to like these next couple rounds of the playoffs, you're going to have to learn to appreciate lower-scoring games. And I think it's what really was going to come down to. I mean, Robin Leonard posted a 1.47 goals against average in round 1, league best, and .956 save percentage. That's impressive. But one thing that stuck out to me, and one stat that stuck out to me, was the Hurricanes went 3 for 25 on the power play in round 1, whereas the Islanders went 10 of 11. 10 of 11. That's kind of amazing to see. As far as percentage goes in the power play. And I had the Washington Capitals in Game 7, Prez, and I think that Carolina did everything they could. They deserved it. They worked hard in overtime, but I just feel like the storyline is going to be over in this one. I feel like the Islanders are the superior team in all aspects: goaltending, defense, physicality, and just, I think, more depth of scoring. We'll see out of the Islanders. And like I said from the get-go, the rest is going to be a really good thing for this team. I expect a great start from them. I'm surprised with the price we're getting on the series, Prez, and I'm also surprised on the price we're getting for Game 1. I was saying yesterday on Twitter, Prez, you can get the Islanders minus 1.5 games in this series at plus 178. It's a huge jump from what you're getting for just them to win the series. So I've got a piece of the Islanders to win the series, also a small piece of them to win minus 1.5 games. So those are kind of my thoughts on it. I feel like Carolina will compete, but Islanders are just a little bit better.
He's Andrew. I'm the Prez. Alex B. Smith with us. Colorado tonight on the road against the San Jose Sharks. And, I've been touting Nathan McKinnon all playoffs. I think he does it again. I think Colorado wins the series. I think Colorado wins tonight. And I do think it's going to go over 6 goals tonight. I think this is going to be the highest scoring series of the bunch, but that doesn't say a lot. Andrew, I go to you first. I like Colorado at plus 115, although it was higher earlier, and the over.
I like both those plays as well, Prez. More so, I like the over. I think that we're going to see a 3-0 start to the unders in the playoffs. I think, the Islanders game's going to go under. The 2 games yesterday went under. But I feel like the San Jose was one that's going to absolutely fly over the total. We talked about the youth of Colorado and that top line, and with McKinnon, Rantanen, even Landeskog, those guys that can score. But we also really saw more depth as that series went on against Calgary. I think that's very undervalued, very under-talked about. The third, the Camo line really came alive. That third, even fourth line really started to spark for this Colorado team. And that's going to be the biggest test for the Colorado Avalanche. Because as we all know, they're so top-heavy, Prez. and I know you've been really high on Nathan McKinnon, but if they can't cause any separation and get any kind of dangerous scoring chances with any other line but that top line, then it's going to be very easy for Brent Burns to log 23 minutes and just shut down that line. But if they can open the ice up, and cause some scoring chances with line 2 and line 3, things are going to look really good for Colorado. I think that San Jose is coming off a grueling series against Vegas. Let's face it, guys, they probably shouldn't even be here in round 2. I mean, they came back after being down 3-1 in the series, and we all know what happened in that Game 7. But coming down to it, I think Colorado comes out with lots of energy. I think I'll be betting on them to score first as well, Prez. It's around even money, minus 115. I cashed a ticket with Boston Bruins to score first yesterday, and I feel like Colorado will come out with a lot of energy and they'll get on the board first. So I want a prop bet for that. I like Colorado in Game 1. And I think we'll see lots and lots of goals here. Martin Jones, it's an interesting story because he had, 1 or 2 games where he shut down the Vegas Golden Knights. But when it comes down to it, he's still that, guy that can spill out some rebounds. He's still that guy that has that weak glove hand. And I think that, McKinnon's going to look at Jones with a big smile on his face and be happy to see him in the net. So I agree with you. I'm on the over and Colorado.
Mr. Badass.
Yeah, I like Colorado here with the Game 1. I like them in the series as well. Like I said, San Jose, it was more so Vegas losing the first round than San Jose winning it. He said, obviously, the comeback that they made in the series and in Game 7. And you got to remember, Joe Pavelski was pretty much injured. He's going to. I doubt we'll see him. Even if they go all to the Cup final, I doubt we see him back in the series the way that injury took place. So you got Logan Couture, who's a bit banged up, one of their key players. Martin Jones, who he had a great Game 6, Game 7, but he was horrible for the front end of the series. He's been horrible most of the year. Where Grubauer's been a guy that's really been rolling as of late. And you wonder. I don't think the layoff here is going to hurt Colorado. The way it kind of hurt Columbus, or the way it possibly could hurt the Islanders. I think Colorado, of the 3 teams that had a layoff in the first round, sent out an early exit, they should be able to get their legs underneath them, being on the road. I do worry about the total a little bit because we've seen Colorado games go under as of late 13 of the last 20, dating back toward the middle end of March. So you wonder if they want to try to tighten things down. San Jose, the team, while we know they aren't, the speediest team in the league. They're not fast at all, but like I said, they're efficient when they get into their offensive zone. So Colorado's got to try to utilize that speed, much like Vegas did in those first couple of games in their series. Colorado has close to similar speed, and we've been seeing some secondary scoring as well. So Colorado at a plus price on the road, and Colorado plus price to win the series.
Let's talk about tomorrow, boys. Alex, I go to you first. St. Louis 3-2 last night against Dallas. Dallas was hard done by to some degree. Bennington stood on his head, but he's done that all playoffs and even during the regular season, so that's not to be expected. That is to be expected. And the St. Louis Blues, this team is just getting it done. That's really the bottom line here. They score in opportune times. They play incredible defense. They have a goalie who is Patrick Waugh hot right now, and they're going to be a tough out. With that said, I think we're going to see Dallas bounce back tomorrow at plus 120. And although this series is likely going to go under in many of the games, I'm looking for an over as well.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm looking here at the under. We've now seen this is the 15th game between the regular season and postseason that we've seen a total of 5. And once again, we've seen the under now. It's now 4, 7, and 4 to the under or a push. And I think we're going to see this kind of slow down this pace. I expect to see this pace that we saw from the Game 1 throughout the series. We're going to see goals traded back and forth, but I think we're going to see it be even tighter defensively in this Game 2. I like Dallas in this, but I think Dallas could even things up at 1-1, but I think we're going to see this under. So if we can find a 5.5 tomorrow, if we see some over money come in, bet it back on the under. But even at 5, I still feel comfortable enough to where we'll either push or go under.
Yeah, no chance we're going to see a 5.5 on the board tomorrow. Andrew, what do you like in this Dallas-St. Louis game?
As far as the total goes, it's difficult because Bishop, first of all, he probably wishes he had a few of those back. One of them went off a leg. It was tough for him to even save a couple of them. But when it comes down to it, that wasn't his best game as of late, obviously. But, watching the post-game interviews, it seemed to me the whole Dallas coaching staff was very impressed with the pace their team delivered. They liked the offense. They liked, line for line, the way they rolled their lines. I feel like coming into game two, we will see a faster pace and we will see these teams fall into more of a higher scoring game. And again, we are seeing a 5. So yesterday, if we had the 5, would have been a push. And I feel like we'll see more goals here in this one. Outstanding job by Tarasenko to kind of enter this series and make a name for himself right away. Say, hey, look, I'm back. I'm the top line guy. And I think that's really important for the St. Louis Blues to get their top line guys going because we know how much depth they have down the middle. So if they can start the series off with their top line guys performing well, I think it'll open things up for their second and third liners to get going. But Prez, I've said it from the get-go, that's probably my the toughest series I've had to read, St. Louis and Dallas. I'll be treading lightly with that one. But as far as things go with that, I'm on the series plus 1.5 games for Dallas. But I think coming into tomorrow, we'll see a couple goals in comparison to yesterday. I'll take the over.
He's Andrew. I'm the Prez. Alex B. Smith with us. This is Puck Time. Every day, Monday to Friday, up at our YouTube channel, WagerTalk TV, the largest sports handicapping YouTube channel in the world. And make sure to watch First Pitch today. Brian Leonard and I take apart every single baseball game on the board. And Marco D'Angelo is with me on Morning Joe, where we look at the NBA for both today and tomorrow. Andrew, I'll go to you first on the Columbus-Boston game. You liked Boston yesterday. I took the over. I lost. Lose every NHL play. If you told me the scores of tonight's games, I would bet them, and then something would happen, and those scores would be incorrect. That's how bad I am right now, but it happens. And to put it into perspective, guys, because, both of you are young, and I think, Andrew, 10 years ago, you were, 5?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I want to put this into perspective because I'm in probably the worst hockey slump of my life. I read everything wrong in the first round of the NHL playoffs. And so people understand, let's say you have a really horrific NFL football season or a horrific, Alex, Andrew, you've got the Canadian football season starting and you have a terrible Canadian football season. If you bet hockey for 10 years in a row and you have one season that is horrific, that would be the equivalent of betting 10 days in a row and having an 0 for 4 one day. It happens to every single one of us. 10 seasons, one bad season. 10 days, one bad day. That's what I got to keep reminding myself of as I try to work through what is literally the worst slump of my life in hockey. So people, please stay away from my plays. Fade my thoughts. Ignore me. But I think the over is going to happen in the Columbus-Boston game again, and I like Columbus. Andrew?
And Prez, just to follow up on that, not to kiss your ass or anything, but you're coming on here and you're still talking hockey. I'm sure you're still doing your research and stuff like that. It'd be different if someone's just out there making picks and staying at home and not coming on videos. But the fact that you're still doing videos and doing your write-ups, I've seen your write-ups before, on WagerTalk.com. It's not like you're just giving out the picks. You're giving reasoning. You're talking about the plays. So that's also a reason why you should feel okay with it because – obviously you want to do better, but at the same time, you're giving everything you can. You're giving your analysis. So that's all you can really do is give your opinion. As far as this series goes, you had the over yesterday, Prez. There was countless chances. There could have been 3 goals in the first period.
Dude, 2 empty netters, both the puck jumped over both sticks.
Yeah.
2.
That's really it's kind of an obvious statement, but that's really what stops overs from hitting is just 2 incredibly hot goaltenders, and that's what we saw. But
it's not even hot goaltenders, dude. It's bouncing pucks.
Yeah, I had Boston yesterday, and I'll tell you, I was nervous because Bobrovsky was playing out of his mind. I think Boston could have had a lot more of a lead than they actually did, and they blew their 2-0 lead. I don't know. I think I love that phrase that you said the other day, Prez, about, you said that Columbus is a poor man's Boston, or you said it about something else. I think it was St. Louis, maybe. But I fully agree with that. And I really backed it up yesterday with that game. I know it went to overtime. I know sometimes overtimes can be coin flips, but it cracked me up, guys, that people were telling me that Columbus has far more depth. I mean, Charlie Coyle ties it up, sends it to overtime, then goes ahead and makes an outstanding tip to win it. A great play from that whole line. I don't understand how anyone's going to sit here and tell me that Columbus has way more depth. I mean, the Marcus Johansson, Charlie Coyle, and Chris Wagner line played outstanding. That line started the game yesterday. I believe Bruce Cassidy was beginning to get outcoached by John Tortorella, and he really turned it on. He has no problem just tossing his lines in a blender and juggling them up if he has to. And that's great. That's playoff coaching. I agree with that. Like we saw, Pasternak down there in the second line, mixing things up, creating more offense for that line. I just feel like Boston's a far more superior team. And when it comes down to it, Columbus is running into some issues. I feel like adversity is so important. Tampa Bay never faced any adversity. That's why they had troubles in the first round. Now we got a Columbus team that just had a cakewalk of a first round, 4-0 straight, 4 straight games. They go into a Boston team that, had all kinds of adversity. They battled to a game 7 against Toronto Maple Leafs, came out on top like they've been doing, in those once again today. I do agree with you though, Prez. We should see some more goals tomorrow, but I'm actually going to look at Boston in regulation. We're going to get better odds on that tomorrow, and I feel like they're going to protect home big time in this one.
Alex Badass Smith, what do you like in this game? And then we got to call it a show.
I like the over again here. I was on that over in game one. Like I said, there was a ton of chances that were missed. But Bobrovsky playing out of his mind, something we haven't seen him really do in a postseason performance like that probably ever in his career. I mean, his postseason numbers before round 1 of this series were atrocious, and his numbers against Boston haven't been much better either. So I think we're going to see an over. I think we're going to see kind of exactly the same game, but just with more scoring. We're going to see it go back and forth. If you can find a prop to bet, whether it be a lead change or multiple lead changes, I would bet the over or yes on that prop, because I think we're going to see just go tit for tat. Back and forth, both goaltenders. One goalie's going to have to come up big for the win in this game. So Bobrovsky going to have to make a big set of saves, or Rask to make a big set of saves late to get this game. I also would look at the draw as well. We already saw it going to OT once. I could see this being tight enough to where it's a 3-3 game at the end of 60 minutes. So kind of got to go against your regulation play there, Andrew. I feel like if I had to lean with a side with a winner, I would go with Columbus. I could see them even things up, but I think we're going to see this game go into OT tomorrow.
And Prez, I think after what we saw yesterday, I would take a shot at the first period over. Looking at how many chances there were in that first frame and how many opportunities there could have been, I feel like in game 2 we come out and we see a really hungry Columbus. We see a desperate Columbus firing everything at Tuukka Rask. We know that Boston could have had 1 or 2 themselves yesterday as well. So I feel like we'll get better odds on it, and I feel like that has a better chance of hitting than game 1 did. So I like the over 1.5 as well.
I agree with that.
He's Andrew. I'm the Prez. Alex with us. Puck time in the book. Boys, have an outstanding weekend, and we'll see you both on Monday. Prez out.
Thanks, guys. See you.